Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is the man in the black mask, and this is one of the best news that I've heard so far. Derek Chauvin and three ex-cops indicted for violating George Floyd's civil rights. Now, this is very interesting as it is important, okay? Now, here's how it begins. Derek Chauvin and three former Minneapolis police officers were indicted by the federal grand jury Friday on charges they violated George Floyd's civil rights. A three-count indictment named Chauvin, Thomas Lane, J. Alexander Kung, and Chao Dao. All four were charged with failure to provide Floyd, 46, with medical care as Chauvin pinned him to the ground for more than 9 minutes. As a handcuffed, Floyd repeatedly said he could not breathe. Oh, stupid son of a bitch. Chauvin, Tao, and Kung were also charged with violating Floyd's right to be free from unreasonable seizure and excessive force, according to the indictment. Chauvin, 45, who was convicted last month of second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter in Floyd's death on May 25, 2020, was also named in the second indictment for allegedly holding a 14-year-old boy by the throat and hitting him multiple times with a flashlight without legal justification during a 2017 arrest. Well, I sure hope that boy sued, because had that been me, he'd have to watch his fucking back. Specifically, defendant Chauvin held his knee on the neck and upper back of Juvenile 1, even after Juvenile 1 was lying prone, handcuffed, and unresisting. Court records read. No, court documents read. Lane, 38, Chow, 35, and Kung, 27, appeared in U.S. District Court in Minneapolis. Chauvin was not included in the video conference appearance. He's being held in a maximum security prison as he awaits sentencing on June 16. He faces up to 40 years in prison, but under state guidelines, someone convicted of second-degree unintentional murder with no prior criminal record would face a presumptive sentence of 12 years. Something that I know is bullshit, that's for sure. I feel he should get 25 years. Think about it. Justin Volpe got 28 years for torturing Adnan Lima, so let fucking Chauvin get 25 years for killing Floyd. Chauvin's attorney, meanwhile, has requested a new trial, insisting the guilty verdict was tainted by an intimidated jury, which is moot, by the way. Lane, Tao, and Kung, who remain free on bond, are set to face trial in August on charges of aiding and abetting second-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter in Floyd's death. They were allowed to remain out of custody following Friday's court appearance. Minus Chauvin, of course, who's being held without bond while awaiting sentencing. Lawyers for Floyd's family, including civil rights attorney Ben Crump, said in a statement Friday that the indictment, quote, end quote, reinforces the strength and wisdom of the U.S. Constitution. The Constitution claims to be committed to life, liberty, and justice, and we are seeing this realized in the justice George Floyd continues to receive. The statement continued. 3 constitutional violations that George suffered are clear and were also detailed by our civil litigation team last July. Now, last July, the pandemic was at an all-time high. Now it's at an all-time low. Thanks. The additional indictment of Chauvin in the 2017 arrest also shows a pattern and practice of behavior, according to the statement by Crump and attorneys Antonio Romanucci and L. Chris Stewart. Floyd died while handcuffed in custody for suspicion of using a counterfeit $20 bill. Cell phone footage of his death led to a nationwide protest and calls for widespread police reform. Chauvin's attorney, Eric Nelson, did not comment on the federal charges Friday, with the Associated Press reported. Now, I want to show you these photos, okay? One of the cops is Asian. One of the cops just happens to be colored. See, look at this shit. Shame on those punk-ass motherfuckers, okay? One of them is fucking Asian. He, too, is colored, and he kills another colored man? How fucking dare he? Okay? And I am hoping that Mr. Chauvin gets 25 years in prison for killing an innocent black man. He's also tried to do this to a 14-year-old boy 4 years ago. Now, I feel he should be charged with attempted murder since he tried to kill a kid. A fucking kid. They should have been pulled his ass off the force to make that juvenile happen. I mean, why would they You let him keep serving on the force until he actually kills an innocent man, and then decide to fucking do something about it. I mean, seriously? I know I'm not the only one popping the question. I'm not the only one raising the eyebrows here. But I do know something is wrong with not only the police force, but the government as a whole. Because his fucking attorney is probably going to try to get his ass out on bail, alleging that the jury was tainted or intimidated or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't in the courtroom. But only the judge knows what happened because it's his courtroom. He fucking knows. He saw everything. So, yeah, of course he's going to know. Meanwhile, we ain't going to know until after the appellate process is heard, you know? I just sure hope that the judge denies the appeal, you know? Just like with Daniel Holtzclaw, this Asian cop that preyed upon those black women because, they had felony convictions or arrest warrants, mental illness, whatever, histories of drug and alcohol abuse. I mean, come on. I mean, that is just not right. The one thing that pisses me off is that these cops tend to use their badge as an excuse to do whatever the fuck they want to do to us. And guess what? It always comes back to bite them in the ass. All it takes is for a minority that isn't afraid to speak to bring those bastards down. I'm glad Floyd had a lot of people speaking for him, because obviously he couldn't speak for himself because he's dead. But at least his death isn't in vain. I'm glad we're seeing justice, but will it remain this way? I mean, I hope so. I want to see justice prevail because for far too long we have been mistreated not just by the police but the courts. The courts, they get paid to help us, but instead they'd rather punish us rather than help us. And you know what I'm saying? That's just fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? Now, I sure hope that, like Chauvin getting convicted, that these other 3 cops, I hope they too go down too, because they practically neglected Floyd. They should have stopped their man from killing Floyd. They should have, pulled Mr. Chauvin off of Floyd. They should have pulled him off the fallen man, but they just rooted Chauvin on the whole time. And I know a lot of you was pissed off that happened, and quite frankly, so am I, because I've been a product of racism and racial harassment. I am a product of this, so this offends me 500%. So don't ever tell me I don't have a right to be offended. I do have a right to be offended. And if you are a victim of racial profiling, white or black, you too would be offended. And I wouldn't judge you for that neither. I have never judged people for their past or their futures. And that's not why I signed up for this channel. I signed up for this channel to be an advocate, to make a difference, to document what goes on in today's society. Okay? I know a lot of you is doing the same thing, but I know I am. So if I hear any more about this indictment, I will bring it out and share even more with you. But I'm glad Chauvin is off the streets because then he would have killed another black person, So obviously he put on a badge just so that he can kill black people. Now I hate to sound bizarre, but I'm just telling you like it is, okay? Chauvin has a history of abusing black detainees. I just wish he was stopped when that juvenile happened. That he tried to kill a 14-year-old boy. They just should have pulled his ass off the force sooner. I just wish they didn't wait till after Floyd was dead just to take action. Because it's just unnerving in its own right. I mean, come on, nobody deserves to be treated like that. Some of us have been arrested and detained before and were not properly treated by the police. I get that, okay? Trust me, I've been there. Whenever I wasn't arrested, I was most definitely detained. Okay, but I'm just telling you like it is, okay? Something needs to be done with the police. I do want to see police reform. That's why Eric Adams is running for mayor, to make a difference, because he got his ass beat by the police when he was 14 or 15. And he became a cop to combat racism. And so far he's doing a good job as a product of racism. Like I said, man, this needs to stop, man. Shit got worse after Donald Trump took office. You know that, and I know that. So don't tell me otherwise. But I do admit that racism happened long before Donald Trump was even born. But it got really bad after he took office. Okay? You try and understand that. So in the meantime, thank you for listening to the Man in the Black Mask. I thank all of you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe and drop a question underneath the screen and tell me what you think about this bizarre incident, okay? Just tell me what you think. State your opinion. I don't care. Just do it with respect. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Okay, opinions matter in the face of COVID. I'm glad COVID has inspired me to do something better, such as, talk to all of you, about some of the current events that tend to affect us minorities as a whole. Okay? I couldn't be more prouder of myself. Okay? I couldn't be more prouder. So don't forget to like and subscribe and comment underneath the screen about your experiences or what you think about this whole bizarre encounter. So until then, good luck, be well, and have a good day. And thank you for your service. If I have another article to share with you, if I can find it, I'll be back. Thank you for your service.